What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we focus on helping Black women change their lives by discarding negative thoughts, pivoting in the right direction, and shifting their mindset through cultivating a trauma free lifestyle. I'm your host, Courtney Christten, educator, content creator, life coach, counselor, and mental health enthusiast living in Houston, Texas. I created the Allow Yourself Grace podcast because I wanted to create a space for Black women to share their thoughts, feelings, and stories that make them who they are without fear of judgment. Allow Yourself Grace provides emotional support and encouragement within the Grace Girls community for women in need of non biased opinions from women other than family and friends. Personal development, self care, career, faith are among many of the topics we will discuss on this platform. Allow Yourself Grace podcast is here to encourage Black women to live unapologetically and thrive in being authentically who they are and were designed to be, an entire vibe. No topics are off limits. We will cover it all. Now, grab a notebook, pen, sit back, and enjoy the show. What's up? What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome back to another episode of the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. Guys, I'm super excited. Y'all know I always get excited. Why? Because I have a guest in the house and she is new to Houston. So I want y'all to spam the comments to go ahead and welcome her to H Town. And yeah, as always, I'm going to have her introduce herself because I don't want to miss anything. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kim Dews. I am a recent transplant here. Um, been here since Juneteenth, which is actually kind of symbolic to me because this was the last state to recognize that they were free. But I do finance by day, investments by night. I have two children that are grown now. I love adventure, travel. I'm a vibe. I love to dance. All the
Okay.
things. I love the Lord, most importantly. So, yeah, this is just a brand new journey. Previously, in a union for 26 years. I recently was divorced and yeah, just started a brand new life here.
I love it. I love the new life because it's
Yes.
it's okay to transition. So that's what we're going to talk
Yes.
about a little bit about just transitioning and rebuilding.
Yes.
And so what has that been like for you?
Um, this year has been my hardest year
Hmm.
and it has been my best year at the same time. So, yeah, you choose your heart and I've learned a lot about myself. I've had to sit with myself, um, not blame shift, but I had to look at some things about me that a lot of it was self inflicted.
Right.
There were a lot of signs ahead of time that I chose to look at as hot pink that I didn't pay attention to, but by the grace of God, I'm still here. So nothing is wasted. I feel like nothing is wasted.
Yeah, yeah. I always say disappointments are gifts, and I talked about this in my last episode. It's
Yes.
kind of like, instead of saying, how people say you take L's, it's
Yes.
like, no, I learned a
All
lesson.
lessons.
It's
All
all
lessons. No
lessons
losses.
because
That's right.
somebody else can like tell you, hey, there's a red flag. Don't you see it? Don't you see
Yes.
it? And you could just
Yes.
be like, what?
Yes.
Because it's your lesson to learn,
That's right.
and parents do that a lot. Like they try to like tell you, oh, I don't know,
Yes.
but we want to try it.
That's
And it's
right.
like that's how we learn. We learn through life
That's right.
experiences. So I'm glad you said that.
Yes.
So why H Town? Why'd you choose Houston?
Why not? Why not H Town? Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm coming from Nashville, Tennessee. That was my former spouse's thing. So we're originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hmm.
And um my former spouse is in a music industry. Nashville, Tennessee is Music City.
Yes.
And predominantly it was more country and pop. It is beginning to expand now to, urban and things like that. But yeah, that was always his vision and goal. So we had left Nashville after we had got married. Lived in Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
for 10 years. Loved Atlanta. Atlanta is full now.
It
So,
is. It's at
so
capacity.
yeah, it's at capacity. So I couldn't go back there. So then during the recession, we actually lost everything. Went
Mm-hmm.
back to school and I got a job offer to go back to Nashville. So went
Mm-hmm.
back to Nashville. And then once I filed for the divorce and that was finalized, sold the house, sold all of my properties and everything, I said, hey, I wanted to go to a city by faith that had amazing um, faith built churches
Mm-hmm.
and where a lot of brown and black people were
Yes.
thriving and a place that they had fun things to do. I'm
Right.
not a homebody, so I chose Houston.
I
I
love
didn't know
it.
anyone. Yeah, so this was a faith move. And yeah, I feel like I have met no strangers at all.
I love
Everybody has
that.
just
I
embraced me.
always like,
So
yeah, I love that. I always like to
yes.
hear good things about Houston,
Yes, good food.
because
I mean, good food, good vibes, just so much to do. You guys have like 4 stadiums
mm-hmm. Yeah,
for
there's a
each
lot
and
to do.
yeah, I mean, my weekends are just
She's outside,
you
y'all.
already
She's
know I'm
outside.
outside,
We're gonna
okay?
have her Instagram up on the screen so y'all can follow her, so y'all can
I
be on
am
this journey with her.
outside,
Especially
yes.
if you're single, I think she's doing it the way that you need to do it when you're single. It's like really just enjoying yourself, enjoying
Yes.
meeting new people, and just being out, because you can't meet anybody in the
You
house,
can't. You
right?
can't.
Like you got to get
You got to get
outside.
out. I tell you, when COVID hit and I was doing church Bible study Zooms, I was like, I'm sick of this. I am sick of this.
Oh my God, she was like, I got to get out.
I was like, how do you have salons and tattoo parlors being essential, but
Mm,
then the house of the Lord is closed down?
yeah.
So yeah, I just
So, what churches have you been visiting in Houston?
wow, okay. So I have been visiting Grace Church.
Hmm.
That's been phenomenal. No, it seems like it's predominantly Latino.
Yeah,
And a
they have a
part of
lot of
me,
locations though.
oh,
They
they
have
do?
multiple. They have one in Humble too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, I always wanted to be bilingual. Because it's a difference between like when you're in school and you're taking
Hmm.
classes 4 years of
Yeah.
Spanish and you actually being just put in the culture, you
Yeah.
learn faster. And so I feel like God has something there for me as well
I
in
love
the
it.
Latino community. So I've been to Grace Church, been to Pastor Zakion.
Yes. Oh, so
Um,
you've been to Humble.
was that
Which one?
humble?
He has. Well, he has
He
several
didn't have his own
locations.
church. I mean, he didn't have his own church building.
Yes, he does.
The one that he has, I think, is like the first, third, and fifth Sunday.
Oh yeah, so that's on the other side of town because his main campus is in Humble.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
was gonna say he does do church at another
Yeah.
location.
So
Yeah,
when
okay, so that's cool.
so when
Yeah,
he's
the main campus is in Humble.
I tell you
Yeah.
what's crazy. When he celebrated his 28th anniversary, um, we got there, they had turned people away.
Oh, it's too many people.
It was already filled to capacity,
Oh
like at 9:30
wow.
before the church even started.
Oh wow.
People had parked across the street and were walking across, and everybody was like, "Go back! There's no." I was like, "Wow, we're actually
Mm,
turning down people at the church." So
yeah.
he's like a like a celebrity kind of. He's like a
Yeah, he
celebrity,
is. I
So
mean, and then now, especially since he's married one now, so
yeah.
it brings, because he was already pretty popular. Yeah,
Okay.
he was already
Okay.
pretty popular, and then now it's just
Just blew
actually, yeah,
up.
it blew up.
Yes.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I've been out. Yeah. And
you've been
then
getting them.
it's another one. What is it? A Rig Global. They actually are a couple from London by
Mm,
way of Nigeria,
okay.
and now they have moved here. So
Yeah, Houston has a
um
lot of churches.
a
Yeah,
lot,
they have a
yeah.
lot to choose from. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. I'm
Hmm.
glad that you're like just trying different ones and trying
Yes.
different things so you can kind of really figure out what you like and
Yes.
what fits you.
Yes.
So let's talk about real estate a little bit. So
Okay.
how'd you get into real estate?
How did I get into real estate? My current mentor coach, Terica Lynn Smith, she has a phenomenal testimony.
Hmm.
I don't even know where to begin. At the age of 5 years old, she was sold to her mother's drug dealer for currency.
Oh wow.
And yeah, long story short, she ended up having to be placed in foster care.
Mm,
Her mother would be gone. days at a time.
Wow.
She would sneak out the house with no electricity or water in the house and get grass and bring it back in the house and feed it to her sisters and things. And so she's from Louisiana. So when Hurricane Katrina hit, by this time she had been emancipated, already had a child at 16 years old, living under the bridge with Hurricane Katrina, and someone had rescued her. She kind of got connected with real estate through that. She had failed the exam like 7 times. She is now the youngest Black female developer in Louisiana. She's got almost 1,000 doors.
Wow, I love
and so
it.
she tells her story, like her first house she got, she had used her I think $3,000 income tax return, and then she had $5,000 from, I think, her first commission check, or either was backwards the other way, but she really had $8,000 altogether. She got her first property through that. She basically says, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. So that's how I got started into it, joining the mastermind. That was my first investment in me. And so last year I had acquired multiple properties in St. Louis, Missouri. I had 3 Airbnbs, and then I had my own property. And then when I filed divorce, I sold all of that, split the shares with my husband, which I did not have to do, but I chose to do that. And so I just feel like with a millionaire mindset, a lot of times they start these businesses, they go bankrupt, but that intellectual knowledge is in their head, where they know how to, once you've acquired millions, it's like you know how to get it back.
You're
So
right.
even though I had lost everything, I'm just building and starting all over. So when I moved here, I didn't know my cities. I didn't know like what's a good city, or I just knew like, okay, I love people. I love to be hospitable. And so I'm going to get a property that's close to a medical center, and I am going to rent out to traveling nurses.
Okay.
Because Airbnb is so shaky right now.
It is.
With
There's a lot going on
traveling
with it.
nurses,
Yeah.
you can, run the play a little bit longer with them. And then with this new virus or whatever coming up or whatever, I just want to be prepared. So I wanted to have something that had like long-term income.
Okay. So is it ready or is not ready?
It is ready now.
Okay.
It is ready now. I just had my photographers come this weekend. I had the contractors come and finish up touches. And so I just need to list it on all of the platforms.
Okay, cool.
Including Gigster and Peerspace, because the way that it's designed, it's kind of unique. Like it's got certain sections where you would want to do like a photo shoot, or you could do podcasts.
Okay.
And
I
so
love that.
You have to come and see it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have that 3D paneling.
Yeah, I thought it was for some reason I thought it was your house you were renovating, but that's your investment property.
Yes.
Okay, cool. No, definitely gonna have to come check it out. No, I love it. I love it how you just came into Houston and was like, hey, I gotta have something, and you invested in something.
I mean, nowadays it's like I'm not paying $1,500 on rent when that could be my mortgage,
Come
and
on.
yeah.
It makes sense. No, it makes sense. And I like that you talked about the millionaire mindset.
Yes.
Because sometimes when you feel like you've lost everything, it's just like, oh, I gotta work and try to get this again. But how did you develop that tenacity to want to like keep going?
I just hope for the best and expect the worst. And I just feel like God has brought me this far.
Right.
There's no stopping. Like I'm betting on me. There's no plan B. And worst case scenario, I just have to think like, okay, worst case scenario, he's not gonna have me out homeless. I'm not gonna be just no food, begging or anything like that. So that mindset.
Yeah.
I just believe in myself, and my measure of faith. It's a scripture that talks about when you give to the poor, it's like you lend to the Lord. And so I believe in the law of reciprocity as well, and I give. And so so much has been given back to me because I give.
I love it.
So,
I love it. It's so funny. You posted a scripture the other day, and it was about abundance. Do you remember that scripture?
I think so.
And it's so funny because because I do the Bible app too. So
Okay.
I read the same one that morning and I was like, oh my God, that's so funny because you're coming on my
Yes.
podcast. And what you said is all connected because
Yes.
you have to be a giver in order to reciprocate that
Yes.
to get it back. And
Yes.
that's the thing people don't understand. You know,
Yes.
it's like you have to give something,
Yes.
guys, in
Yes.
order to
Yes.
get. Like,
Yes.
how do you get to this zen place? Like, how do you
Yes.
get to this place of resting in the promises? And it's like I only get there because I'm putting out what I want to receive
That's
back.
right. That's
And, you
right.
know, it can be difficult sometimes for people to get to that point
Yes.
because they can't see it, you know?
That's
And
right.
that's where the faith comes
That's where
in.
the faith comes in. That's
Right.
right.
That's where the faith comes in. It's like you got to have some faith to
That's
see things
right.
that you can't see with the natural eye.
That's right.
And that takes time, it takes maturity, it takes
Mhm.
experiences.
Mhm.
And so I'm happy that you're sharing your experience and your
Yes.
journey with other people because it's like I don't want people to ever feel like I go through
Yes.
something and I'm done.
That's right.
It's not the end.
Mm-mm.
And so what you said was so powerful.
That's right.
I want to move it to the next topic.
Okay.
So real estate, amazing. I love it. I love all the black girl magic. I just had to say it, y'all. Because we're so powerful. We can do
Yes.
anything.
Yes.
I want to talk about your kids a little bit.
Okay.
So, how do they feel about your transition? Because they don't live here, right?
They don't live here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my youngest one, he was actually staying with us in our home. Um, and he is going on 23.
Mm-hmm.
I have two sons or two men
Two
child.
men
My
childs.
oldest one is 35. But yeah, the youngest one, excuse me. So the youngest one is 23, and he could see the dysfunction
Mm-hmm.
in the marriage, even though um we weren't yelling or screaming or anything like that. You could just kind of tell
Yeah.
the tension in the home, and so actions speak louder than words. And so even though there wasn't negative words being said, I was living a lie in front of him
Mm-hmm.
on what a marriage should not look like,
Right.
and he had not been in a relationship, and I had to have a conversation with him like, hey, this is not what a healthy marriage should look like. I want you to know that. So, um, so much has transpired with him leaving once we sold the house and moved
Mm-hmm.
out, because they say with moms, we raise our daughters, but we love our sons.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing so much for him because he lived with us. Um, I began to enable him.
Mm.
But after the divorce was over and he moved out on his own because he had to, it was either fight or flight.
Oh wow.
And so, I mean, he has just skyrocketed. His adulting has just, I mean, he um he went to college. I got credit cards to him when he was in college. I put him up as an authorized user on my credit cards. His credit is probably better than mine. He's got 700 plus credit.
Come on. Y'all
Yeah,
taking notes,
he
parents.
lives underneath his 30% utilization. He's got
Okay.
a job, and all of his gifts, he's making money off of his gifts. He is a artist, he's a rapper, producer, photographer, and also him and a friend had just released a Christian song,
Mm-hmm.
a Christian album. They're Christian artists. They released their album about like 2 weeks ago, and that next week it charted 75
Oh
on
wow.
mainstream rap.
Oh,
The Christian album charted
I love
75 on mainstream
that.
rap. So it's just
The
like,
first one. Oh my
yeah,
God.
he's a
That's amazing.
leader in his church. He teaches Bible study, and I mean, he is just doing it. And so now, he doesn't know. It's a surprise. Um, he's doing a grand opening of a Christian nightclub in Nashville. It's gonna be the first Christian nightclub, November the 11th.
Oh
So I'm gonna
wow.
fly in and I'm gonna surprise him.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
he is doing the thing. He is doing the
That's
thing. So
awesome. A
yes,
Christian nightclub. I would
yeah,
never thought about that. That's
yeah.
creative too.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's probably gonna get a lot of pushback from a lot of religious, folks, but
Yeah, but it's a good
um,
space for because I think sometimes Christian singles feel like they don't have anywhere
anything,
to like
yeah,
go
yeah,
to hang out other
yeah,
than the church. You know,
mm-hmm,
it'll give a different
Mhm.
setting.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Oh my
And
God.
then my oldest, he is 35, so I have a big gap. I have a 12-year gap
Yeah. Oh yeah, you do.
because in college I was wilding out, had took a detour and had to come back to the Lord. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I was doing that, I had saved myself until after I got married. And
Yeah.
then so that's why you have that gap. But yeah, my oldest one, working on his PhD.
Mm-hmm.
So he works with special needs children in education.
Okay.
He's married now, so I have a daughter in love,
I love it.
and he is still in Ohio, so he's doing well,
That's
doing
good.
great things. Yeah.
That's good. Oh, that's amazing.
Play former
That
semi-pro football. Yeah, so he's gotten
okay.
offers to coach, and I think he wants to wait until he gets his PhD before he
I
coaches
love
professionally.
that.
But yeah,
That has to make you proud though, as a parent.
I
It's like I really
am.
did my job and I did it
I
well.
am. You know, I feel like still all glory to God. Just because my marriage failed didn't mean that I'm a failure. And but I mean, you know, we as parents sometimes are still our worst critics, but
Yeah, but the
when I see them,
sacrifice that you made to
yes,
make sure that, that you raised them and that, because most people wouldn't do that. They'd be like, I'm out of here. I'm
yes.
whatever, but you never know how it would have affected them. And so you
Yes.
made that sacrifice and it just
Mhm.
worked out. They
Mhm.
learned from it and now they probably know what they want and what they don't want.
Yes,
And
that's true. That's
that's
so true.
the good part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also at the end of the day, children probably they would rather see their parents happy as opposed to staying together and
Mm,
miserable, yeah, and not
right.
thriving. So
And being like, my mom doesn't like my dad,
yeah.
like that type of stuff. I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Because they know, like
Yes.
most kids know.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about what's next for you.
Okay.
Like, what do you have coming up? What's the plan? Like moving forward?
Okay.
We know you own the properties, you're turning it up in real estate, but what does life look like for Kimberly in the next 5 years?
Um, Next 5 years. Well, you know, I'm still in corporate during day, so definitely want to respectfully give them their job back and just go
She said respectfully. I love
full time.
it.
Yeah, in investment. I would love to have dual citizenship
Mm.
out the country, Dubai. So I am actually taking an investment tour to Dubai in December, taking my son with me also
Hmm.
for his birthday so that he can see. I feel like every black man needs to go to Dubai and
Yes.
see because once you see, you cannot unsee. You
Wow.
cannot unsee there. I mean, the freedom there, it is
Hmm.
just the architecture there, the food there, the excellence there. Um, it is like no other. And crime rate, I mean, you don't have to worry about being profiled or anything like that. You can like leave your high end materialistic things out. Nobody
Because
is gonna take
everybody
your
is
stuff.
winning. Everybody's doing great.
Nobody's gonna take your stuff.
Right.
Homelessness is illegal there.
Wow.
It's just you think Texas does everything big. They do everything
Everything
big and
big.
expensive, you know. Um, Ubers and Lyfts are like Lexus and
Hmm.
Teslas. So it is just amazing there. So yeah, I would love to have dual citizenship. I would love to just really have my freedom back.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I have God graces me with grandchildren, I don't have to put in time off to be able
Yeah.
to see them. You know, I can just serve. If God calls me to do a missionary trip,
Yeah.
you know, for 6 months or whatever, I could just do that. So, um, and if he allows me also to remarry, I would be open to that as well. I'm going through therapy. I've been
Hmm.
through therapy, so that has been a blessing for me
How
as
long have
well.
you been in therapy?
Since earlier this year.
Okay. So I say I'm asking because we talk about therapy a lot on this platform.
Hmm.
And, one of the things I know I struggled it with because I'm a therapist myself, but going to therapy was a struggle.
Okay.
Because it's like I don't want to talk, like I don't want to talk about my personal business,
Hmm.
especially with a stranger.
Okay.
So, people struggle with that. And the first 3 to 4 weeks, I was like, I don't like this.
Really?
This is not it. And my
Okay.
friend was like, oh, stick it out, it gets
Yeah.
better. And it did.
Okay. Yeah.
It got better and I enjoy it. And
Yeah.
so that's why I was asking because that first like few weeks is
Yeah.
uncomfortable. And then some people say that it takes them a while to find the right therapist.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know, like, what has your experience been like?
Okay. So yeah, I did have to switch therapists.
Mm.
I had yeah, my first one, she was a lot older than me because I was thinking like, okay, I need a seasoned mother, I need like a seasoned
Yes.
mother, you know, and I need them to be brown or black like me so we can relate, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's this thing called ARP. It's an acronym called ARP, ARP. Advice requires permission. So you don't give or receive advice unless you have asked for permission to do
Right.
so. And so a lot of her suggestions and things like that were like against my core values. So we kind of bumped heads with that. And then, you know, she knew that I was moving out of state and she knew that I was going to buy property. And she was like, why would you do that? You should rent first. You know, you're going to a new state and city that you don't know. And so,
she's definitely not.
yeah. So I was,
Well, yeah, no.
yeah, I was thinking like, yeah, this is not,
That's not.
this
Yeah.
this is not going to work. So yeah, I had to find my person. And for me, I don't know if it's because I'm a social butterfly, but for me, I feel like it's actually easier to share some of my life journey with a stranger versus somebody that I know. Because I feel like there's no stake in it. Like you don't really know me, so you judge me or whatever. Like we're not like friends. So I don't really
Right.
care what you think about me right now. I'm just trying to get this off of me because I feel better when I share. I love
Yes,
details, you
getting
know.
it all out. And
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
the bright side of therapy. It's like you're getting it all out
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about hearing it again.
Right.
From somebody that you
Right.
know, or you don't
Right.
have to wonder like, what are they thinking about me?
Right.
Because they're seeing tons of clients.
Yes.
But I think you have to work to get to that point. For some people, you know,
Yes.
it can be harder. But the experience that you had at first is crazy because, you know, I've heard that before, but
Yes.
I didn't have that experience, but I've heard that before, and that's so crazy to me. But I guess
Yes.
because people are older, they feel like, you know, they have more wisdom, maybe. But it's like stick to the process. 'Cause
Yes.
that's not
Yes.
that's not
She's like, yeah, and I need you to listen to Oprah Winfrey and listen to Yana Van Zant and stuff. And I'm like, I'm paying you. Why you got me listening to
right.
them? And I don't even like rock with them. Like they are black phenomenal women that I have much respect for them.
Oh,
But
she
as
was
far as
old
like
school.
their core values and the stuff that they believe and stuff, I'm not on
Right.
that.
I'm
And
not
so
with that.
I'm not with that at
Yeah,
all. Yeah. So I
that's
was
a
like,
crazy experience. Yeah. So we talk about that because I'm like, I'm encouraging y'all to go to therapy, but I'm also encouraging you to like you did, like switch if you
yeah,
need
do
to.
your due
Like
diligence. Yes.
find the person that's for
Yes.
you
Yes.
because I don't want you to just see anybody. Because
Yes.
I've had therapists sit here with me and I'm like, hey, they're accepting clients, but make sure that, you know, they're a good fit. Find
Yes.
somebody that's a good fit for
Yes.
you. Because it's, you know,
Yes. And
everybody has a different
yes.
taste.
And even the one that I have now, I like her and everything. She is she tries to incorporate like mindfulness and things like that. And I was like, no, that's part of new age. And I was like, I would just pray.
Yeah.
Pray to my God. Like I don't do that. She's like, okay, it's okay. And so I still like her. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna throw her away. But yeah, she respects where I come from, and so she honors that.
Yeah. I like
good.
because I did an assessment beforehand, so she kind of knew stuff. The only piece I didn't like was homework. I'm like,
Okay.
don't give me homework because I'm never gonna do it.
Right.
It's not getting done. She's
like,
like, hey, did you do the homework? No.
life is already life, and I don't need
Right.
extra stuff to do. Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. And she'd be like, okay. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that homework. That homework was intense. No, I don't have time. But yeah, so guys, go to therapy, but also do your research. Do your research. Make sure you find somebody that's a good fit for you. Okay, let's get into some fun stuff.
Okay.
Dating. Okay, are you dating?
I am not dating.
Okay, but you're open to dating.
When the time is right.
So what's considered a date though? Because we have everybody has a different opinion on that. All the single people have a different opinion on what dating is.
You know, I would say it seemed like it is weird now to date. I haven't done it yet, but it just seems like it's so much to deal with now.
Really?
That's what I think. You know, like you gotta do like background checks now. You know what I'm saying? Like if this person got like multiple families and multiple children, and do
like
they
that,
have
like that.
the
Okay.
credit score, and do they have STDs, and like what's their faith?
But
and
is that hold on? So you got to do all that before you go on a date?
No,
like one date?
No, but I'm just saying, like, you know, like I said, I had been off the market for 26 years. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I just feel like it's just different 2023.
It's different, but I'm just asking, like, do you
Okay.
feel like you gotta know all that before you go on a date?
Probably no, I don't. I don't need to know your credit score before we go on a date. But somewhere down the line, if we're gonna continue, I would like
But
to know
see,
some more
this is
information.
the problem I have with my single friends, y'all, and the single people.
And
It's
you
like
got a
we're thinking
350.
too deep, too quick.
Really?
Yes. Can
Well,
we?
by
And
the third.
it's not just the ladies. It's the
Okay.
men too. It's the men too.
If you
Like
got a 350 and you like 50 plus, I need to know like
that is a little scary
what's
because you
going
can't even get an
on?
apartment.
What's going on?
And some jobs do credit checks. Now that I think about it. Yeah, what's going on?
Who was that? The founder of J.C. Penney.
Mm-hmm.
When he used to hire people, he would take them out to dinner first.
Oh wow.
And if they put salt and pepper on their food before they tasted it, he didn't hire them
Mm.
because he looked at it like, why would you do something like that first before
To
you
try
even
it.
taste it? Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people do that. That is weird.
So, yeah. I just want to make sure that I have a healthy soul before I go back out there, that I am
Yes.
not bringing any previous
Yes.
luggage or baggage
That's
or anything
perfect.
on the next person. I'm saving myself.
Mhm.
So this might be TMI, but the last 6 years of my marriage was a sexless marriage. So even though it was finalized this year, the disconnect like happened years ago.
Right.
We were just roommates at that
Just
time.
going through
Living in the
the
house. Yeah.
passing
So I feel like
by.
if God could keep me in my marriage, then surely He could keep me now until the right person comes. And so that would be a conversation too, as far
Right.
as intimacy, how far we will go with intimacy. But as far as like sex goes, that's off the table.
Right. Until
For
you get
me.
married again.
Yeah.
And so, but you still didn't answer the question.
Okay.
What's
I'm so sorry.
considered a date?
What's considered a date? Okay. Either me asking the person
Mm.
or the person asking me, can we go somewhere
Okay.
or
That's a
do
date.
something? And it doesn't have to be a paid for thing. It could be a park or
Right.
it could be um
A workout session.
a workout session
Yeah.
or something where you're asking me and it's just us two
Yeah.
doing something together. So
Yeah, I know. I like that.
Okay.
I'm just asking because I'm like, what is a date though? Like, what's considered a date?
Yeah. Was that the right answer?
No, that was a good answer.
Okay,
I like
okay.
that answer.
Okay.
And I want all the guys, because I have guys that watch my channel.
Really?
So yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
cool. I had a couple guys come too on the
Okay.
podcast. But yeah, that's because I'm like getting mixed answers from people. And I'm like, well, what's considered a date?
Okay.
Like, what is a real date? Like, is it getting coffee? Do you always have to go to dinner?
Okay.
All that.
Mhm.
Like, okay, let's talk expectations. So I don't know if you've seen the video where this girl, she goes out to dinner with this guy. And he
Oh,
pulls up to the place that she doesn't
yes.
want to get out. You saw that?
Yes, I saw that.
So I don't know if y'all saw that.
I saw
Like,
that.
so what happened was, so there's more to the story. So I saw
saw
the
that.
first part
Yeah.
where he came to get her early, I guess, and she wasn't
He
ready
was waiting for her hour
for an hour.
at an upscale restaurant that he actually had reservations for.
So whose fault is it? Do you think she was wrong or do you think he was wrong? Because okay, so if y'all didn't watch it, it's if you didn't see it, he went to her house to get her. She wasn't ready. He had reservations at an upscale restaurant. And they missed the reservation. And so then he resulted to taking her to the Cheesecake Factory. So he pulls up and she locks the door and doesn't want to get out the car, right? And so he's like trying to open the door for her. Like, why are you not getting out? And she's like, I'm at the Cheesecake Factory. So I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Yeah. I would say I would think that she was in the wrong. Because she went public with it also.
Yes, she was recording it.
She was already recording it because he had told her that he was going to get out and come and get her. And so she said, okay. So as he was getting out the car, then that's when she decides to go live on IG and then put him on Front Street. And so
put his
he was like,
face on there,
but he was very, very respectful.
He was.
Throughout the whole time. And so he was like, oh, okay, you said you want to talk about this in front of your friends and everything. And so Then that's when she said, okay, get back in the car so we can talk about it. And it was like, there's a scripture that talks about, don't think of yourself more highly than you should. And so she
Mm.
basically was like, you see all of this, like, do I look like I belong in a Cheesecake Factory? And to be honest with you, I feel like Cheesecake Factory is
That
is
was me.
is a place.
I
You know
was
what I'm saying?
like,
Like,
what's wrong with Cheesecake
you
Factory?
you
It's
you
a
giving
it's a
off
first
Waffle
name.
House energy at this point. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am. She
And so
was.
so he was very, very respectable. And so after she said all that she said, he said, I will take you home. And so kudos to him for being a gentleman.
Yeah.
He didn't put her on blast or anything
He did
like that.
great.
And so I feel like she actually embarrassed herself more
Yeah,
so than
she did.
she was trying to embarrass him, like, I'm supposed to go to a 5-star,
Yeah.
restaurant. And so he had plans for her to do that. So I would say I feel like she was in error for that. Just even how she handled that. Everything doesn't need to be
Yeah.
shown on IG,
Exactly.
Instagram.
And that's my
Yeah.
biggest thing now with relationships. It's like social media.
Yeah.
And so because we're on social media, my husband and I, but we like our life is private. Like
Yeah.
we share what we want to
Yeah.
share. And
That's right.
so we have friends and we're like, you're wrong because you're
Yeah.
running to social media.
Yeah.
Like stay off
Yeah.
social media and let's resolve this in
Yeah.
the household. And then even dating, like in her case, it's like, wow, like you would sit there and demean someone like
Yeah.
that. But if the shoe was on the other
Yeah.
foot, we'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, why did he do her like
Mhm.
that?" But like you said, he was
He
respectful.
was. Yeah.
He kept his composure, and I applaud him for how he handled the situation. But I'm just
Yes.
like, we have all these expectations, and
Yes.
it's like, do you have that same energy towards yourself?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
as
right.
as like, can I do for you
Yeah.
what I'm asking you to do for me?
Yeah.
And I think as women, sometimes we expect so much from men, and I'm like,
Mhm.
dang, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Like,
Yeah.
are we gonna reciprocate the energy?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah. And I
but
wonder how things are going for her, because I think she probably meant to embarrass him and
yeah,
put him on blast. But I feel like a lot of people probably sided with him. And
yeah. I
so
got into
now
the comments, and
I'm
I
sure
was
she
like, oh
probably
wow,
got a lot of,
yeah,
because a lot of times, you know, the Instagram can be be ruthless. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know if
ruthless.
she deleted her account or she had to shut
Hmm.
stuff down, because yeah, the internet can be ruthless. And so
Yeah,
she might have opened up a can of worms that she just did not expect it was going to be coming. You got to have
that's what
tough
I was
skin.
saying. Oh, they were
You can
talking.
dish it out, if you can't
Yeah,
take it.
yeah, the internet is undefeated.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm like, wow. Some of the stuff I see, I'm like, oh my God. The internet
Yes.
is crazy.
Yes.
Okay, well, hopefully in the next year, we see you on the dating scene.
Okay.
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 I think she's open to like hanging out. Because it
Yes.
sounds like she's open to hanging
I
out
could
and
do
like
group I
meeting
could do
people.
group
Like
things. How
group
about
group
that? Group things, yeah,
activities.
with
Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to the gala, so I love the
Yep.
network. I am a network queen.
I love that.
I
You
am a
know what?
network
I
queen.
just
Yes.
started really like getting out on the networking thing like
Really?
this year. And it's kind of like bittersweet sometimes
Okay.
because you meet some great people and then you
Yes.
also meet some people that you're like, man, I had high hopes for this
Yeah.
relationship, but oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because you've been doing it longer, like, have you had those types of experiences in the business, on the business side? Like, you meet people and then you start to see, like, sometimes that their intentions aren't as pure as yours?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah.
And we you can be blocked and be blessed. Um,
Yes.
you could lose your number. I mean, it's all good. It come with the territory.
Yeah.
But the good outweighs the not so good. So I just keep it moving.
Does. It
Yeah.
does. And that's funny because I met Angelica at a networking event.
Okay.
She came on my podcast. We're cool. We text,
Yes.
and then she connected me with you.
Yes.
Like it's so crazy how it works.
Yes.
So it is a side that's like, wow, it can spread like wildfire and
Like
it can be a
wildflower.
great thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I met Angelica at Alpha Land. So that's my
Oh,
fitness center. Yeah.
awesome.
So I
Okay.
have a fitness trainer, and I was on the treadmill. She was right next to me, and I just started talking to her. And we both started talking about we were divorced, and then she told me about her book Through These Brown Eyes, and it
Yeah.
just led one thing to another. I think Hollywood was on writer's strike at that time, because she was
Hmm.
saying that her book got bought by Hollywood and they were going to make a film out of it. And I was like, oh wow. And so we just connected. I said, when I get the book, I want you to autograph it. And she has just been like the plug for me,
She's
because she's like,
amazing.
it's like, kindred spirits. Like when you have good vibes, you begin to attract,
Come on.
you know,
That genuine
yeah.
energy,
And
that
it just led, one thing
authenticity.
led
Yes.
to another. And I mean, we have been like talking nonstop, and that's how, I got connected
Yeah.
with you. And so, some of the not so good will come, but just knock it off and just
And that's what I
keep
say.
it
I'm
moving.
like, just keep
Keep
moving.
it moving.
And it's
Yeah.
like, it is what it is, but you
Yeah.
kind of, it ups your discernment a
It
little more.
does. It
Yeah, it makes
does.
you more aware of like
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I like sitting with women who everybody has something to bring to the table. Like everybody's
Yes.
bringing, like, oh my
Yes.
God, this is amazing.
Yes.
Everybody's doing something great.
Yes.
We're all winning. We're all
Yes.
helping each other. And so that's what Angelica brings. And I love that about her.
Yes.
And we're around a lot of other people that bring that energy. And so I
Mhm.
love that. I love
Mhm.
that. I love that. So I knew immediately, I'm like, oh yeah, if she's connecting me with somebody. Yeah, because Angelica's very real. If
She
you're gonna give me the
is.
real,
She
I'm like
is.
that. I'm like very blunt,
She
very real. So
is.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. She just came back from London, and she was like,
Yes.
Kim, I have been dating wrong this whole time. She was like,
We
the
talked
London
about that.
people, she was like, they love, she said, I went out with someone and it was raining, and they just picked me up and just escorted me like over the puddle of water. They didn't want me to get wet. They didn't want and I was like, really?
Such a gentleman. Come
Yes.
on.
She said he didn't want like sex, or he didn't want anything from me or anything. And she's like, I've been dating wrong this whole time. She's like, you need to come to London. I was like, okay.
Y'all single people have
Let's
it
see.
hard. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. This is
y'all have it.
2023 dating. I don't know.
It's hard. It's crazy because I was talking to a group of men the other day, and to hear their perspective, and I'm like, but what the women are saying and y'all are saying is just, it's
Right.
not matching up. So
Okay.
it's just everybody's having a hard time,
Wow.
including the guys.
Okay.
So yeah, we need to get some of the positive people together, because apparently y'all all running into the wrong
Okay.
people. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I want to thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have anything you want to leave with the people? Anything?
Um, I don't.
Okay. She
I
brought
should not, but I don't.
no, your energy is everything.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
just she's so zen. I love that.
My
But
account on Instagram is private because I'm still in corporate and I'm in the medical industry. But
okay.
so that's another thing. That when I get my freedom, then I can go public, and then I
We
can have
know.
even more.
Yeah, you
So
can have even more.
yes.
So do you want to keep it private? You want to keep it private? You
It's
don't
still private, but you can still
you want me to
just
post it?
request. You can still request,
Okay.
and then if I know, will the majority of them already be following you, or you don't know?
Yeah, it'll be ladies
Okay.
probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I see that there's common
Yeah, if you have common
people,
friends.
yeah, then I'll go
Okay.
ahead and add them on in so they can see my wildness and my stories and stuff. So
She's not wild, y'all.
let's
She's
see.
bringing all the positive vibes that she's bringing. But I want to thank her, y'all. She sat through the Houston traffic for the first time.
Yes.
To come over here. So thank you
Yes.
so much. And yeah, if you have not got your ticket to the gala, we have a few tickets left. So go grab them. VIP is sold out, but get your ticket
Ooh.
November 18th.
Yeah.
And we'll see you there. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. Again, you are watching the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we teach women how to change, pivot, and shift their lives in a new direction. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I post. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.